Hello, friends. This is Niladre Day, and your free faculty. Now, during this period, it is becoming a very essential to teach online, and I'm creating a new series now here, which is called Teaching Online. And today, we're gonna take a look into one virtual lab for engineering students, and this is gonna be specifically for the programming purposes. So the tool what we're gonna take a look into, it's called HackerRank, where we can conduct multiple online programming practices. So without any further ado, let us get started and let's see how do I take a online lab in HackerRank. So this tool is completely browser based, and the URL where I have supposed to go is called hackerrank.com. Once I go to this tool, bottom of the page, I'll be getting two options. One is start remote hiring. Another one is sign up and code, which is for developer. For companies, this is paid, and for developers, it's actually free. So we're gonna go ahead and click on for developers. Or if I already have created some accounts, I can also click on login, or I can click on sign up for new registration. As I already do have an account here, I'm going to click on login. Now, once I log in, I'm gonna get these two options once again. One is for companies, which is for paid accounts, and for developer, this is completely free. So I'm gonna click on login. The registration also I would like to show you very quickly here. It's just a 3-field registration, the first name and last name, email and password, and that's all. You'll get a verification activation email. Once you click on that, your account is set up. So it's a real hassle-free platform for new accounts. Now, as already I do have an account, I'm gonna click on log in. I'll enter my user ID and password. I can also log in using this social media plugins, but I am using my office work email, and I'm gonna click on login. So once I click on login, directly I'll be redirected to my dashboard. On top of the screen, I'll be able to see practice, where I can choose multiple certification for myself. I can take multiple workshops, training, problem specific tutorials, and everything. Secondly, I can go for certification. So as you can see, there are many free certifications are offered, which we can take ourselves, or we can recommend to our students. Third, I do have some option called compete, where if there are some online contests are going on, which we'll be talking right now, I can go ahead and participate in any of these contests. And for students, there is a very valuable option, which is called jobs. So the hiring challenges, multiple companies will have some hiring challenges. So those challenges I can go ahead and participate. And then finally, there is a leaderboard where our skill, based on the number of problems we solve, our scores will be given and we can climb up the leaderboard. Now we're going to talk about the settings option here. As I go to the right hand side corner, I'll get to see my screen, my name, and on that I'm going to have a couple of options here. Now here, the last but one option is administration, which is the focus for today's discussion. Here I am able to create multiple virtual labs, virtual classroom sessions for programming. So let us see how do you get into that. So we are clicking on administration. So in administration, I have two options. One is called manage contest, and the second option is called manage challenges. Now for challenges, these are individual questions, whereas the contest is a group of questions. So I already do have a couple of assessments created for our case, my purposes. Now I'm gonna go very basic, and I'm gonna show you how do you create one single question now, and then how do you add multiple questions into one contest. So let us go to challenges first. Right, in the challenges page, once again, you can see I have a couple of challenges created, but for this purpose, I'm going to create a new challenge. So how do I create a new challenge? Once again, I'm supposed to click on this green button, which is saying create challenge. So once I click on this create challenge button, first of all, I have to give a name of a question. So the question name can be anything, whatever is preferable for us. I am going to write test question 1. And then I have to write something about the question. So I'm writing, this is a first hello world program. And then I'm gonna write a problem statement. So now the statement can be very big. I can have images imported inside that. If I want some other links to be shown here, some YouTube videos or something, that also I can import here. But as this is a very demonstration purpose, so I am going to write a simple text. So I'm going to say write a program to print hello world in uppercase to in your preferable programming language. Now, this tool offers us to use multiple programming languages for a same problem that I am going to define here. Right. The next step says input format. So what is the input output format? Or not the input, actual input output, just the format I'm gonna say. As this is a hello world program, so it does not accept any input. So here I can write none. Do I have any constraints what the programmer has to mention? Say for example, if I'm creating a for loop for something, I'm gonna say the prime number range in between 20 to 30. So that constraint, those restrictions, what you wanted to let the participants know or the learners know, that you're supposed to write here. For this as well, I don't have any constraint, or rather, let me go ahead and say all uppercase outputs only. Right. And in which format the participants supposed to generate the output, whether it will be single line or multi-line, or this is going to be only text, or this is going to be only number, or you are expecting a floating value as output. All these things you can specify. Right. Here I'm expecting only a textual output, so I'm writing text. And then another mandatory field is I have to get it added to some collection, because this will be visible to multiple students, so I have to group it out. So I can say problem solving or something like that. An easy problem. So for example, whatever is existing tags are there, I can choose out of that. I can have my own tags also. Right. So now at this point of time, I have given the basic introduction about this problem statement. And now let me go ahead and fill the actual part. Now I'm gonna click on save challenge. Right. Now once this challenge has been added, I wanted to say which language, vernacular languages, or whichever vocabulary languages are allowed for that. So I can select any of these. There are a lot of languages possible available here. I'm restricting to English because most of our participants speak English. And then for the challenge difficulty, I can grade it. I can say it's a easy question, or it's a medium question, or a hard question, so that if at all there are multiple questions, participant can start with an easy one and then go to medium, then go to hard. So I'm trying to give them a head start, and I am setting it to easy. Right. Now rest of the things once again gonna be same, whatever we have seen in the previous screen. Now on top of the screen, I am having something called moderators. Now if at all I wanted to add some other faculty members here who can also come and check the scores or something, if at all they do have a HackerRank account already, and if I know the HackerRank account name, I can directly add them here. Similarly, something like this. Next. Now I have to, as this is an automatic evaluation, so I have to set some test cases. So what are my test cases and how do I add it? Now coming to the test cases, first thing first, if I am an advanced user in HackerRank, I can directly upload it. You can go ahead and see the help of that, or I can go ahead and create a manual test case. So how can I add an individual test case here? So I'm going to go ahead and click on add test case. So what is the score for this test case if they clear that? So I'm going to set 10. And then I don't have an input here, but I'm expecting an output, and so I'll be writing hello world. Now, there are some situations where you want the participants to see what are the test cases available for a bigger complex problem statement. For that particular purpose, you can have to click on a sample. So the participants will get to see how to see a sample test case. They will be able to evaluate what is the expected output and what is their output, what is getting generated. Now, for a matter of learning, I'm clicking it here. And the moment I click on sample, I can go ahead and add some explanation to that. So I'm going to say all uppercase is accepted, no lowercase outputs are accepted. So that gives the participants an understanding what you are exactly expecting as an output. Now I click on save. So it's saying like I don't have any input, that is fine. I may not have any input, and I click on OK. Right, so it's been added now. Now I can add any number of test cases here. Now for a matter of fact, I am adding one more test case where there will be two spaces in between the output. So I can say hello, one single space, and another space, world. Now this is a contradictory kind of a situation. I should not give something, but just for a demonstration purpose, I'm adding it out. And this is not sample, this is a hidden test case. Participants will not be able to see this. Again, I click on save. Once again, it's asking I don't have any input. That is fine. That is the requirement of this problem statement. And I click on OK. Right, so now I do have two test cases here. Out of that, one is a sample, another one is a hidden test case. And then for both of this, I'm gonna add some test scores. And as and when I make some changes, I keep on saving that option. Okay. The second option is code stubs. It gives the learner a predefined initial set of code, and the platform will automatically generate some sort of a code here, and they will tell where exactly you wanted to change that one. If I go ahead and see in other programming languages, I'll be able to see that the same thing is getting generated. Now, if at all I try to go ahead and say it in Java, I can try to figure out how the things will be looking in Java. So all these things are getting generated automatically. Now, for a matter of fact, as we all know, for Python 2 or 3, whatever, as it's a scripting language and does not follow any structure, the moment I open that, I'll be able to see there is an empty field here. So that's what it is. Now, if I am an advanced user, I can also restrict on the variable names and anything. For that, I have to write a domain specific language instruction here, and then I have to click on the generate code stubs, which will make all that restrictions possible. Right. The next one goes to languages, where I can select which all programming languages are allowed for the participant. So initially I unselect all, and I can only select whatever programming languages I wanted to allow for the participants. So for example, I wanted to allow C, C++, I wanted to allow Java, matter of fact, Java 8 as well. I also wanted to allow Python. So let me go ahead and select Python 2 and 3. If at all I wanted to allow R programming language, I can also allow that. So as we can see, there are a variety of wide range of programming languages available here. I can go ahead and select anything out of that. All right. So once the programming language is done, I again click on save changes here, and then I go to settings. Now, do I wanted to check for the precision, if at all, for a variable length answer where I wanted to set 2.0 as the output, the participants might print 2.00. So those kind of thing also I can restrict it here. I can allow the participants to enter their own data and check the code is working or not. They will be able to discuss the answer among themselves on a forum, which will be visible for us. If at all I wanted to make them learn by discussion, like a group-based assignment, I can do that. By default, that is enabled. If I don't want them to discuss anything online in this HackerRank platform, I can also restrict that. And that's pretty much it. I can also go for custom checker where I can add some sort of a checker, as you can see here. If I go to a C programming or a Java programming situation, it will be much more easier to define. So as you can see here, I can add multiple generic restrictions on the variable names or something. For advanced user, you can definitely try it out. Right, so I have added one question now. So now next what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add this question to a collection like that. Probably I have created 10, 20, 30 questions and I wanted to get it added. So next what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open the same HackerRank once again. And this time I'm gonna go to manage contest. So under contest, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna once again follow the same situation. I'm gonna create a contest and in that I'm gonna add this previous question what just now we have created. So under manage contest, I click on create contest. First thing first, I'm gonna give a contest name. So I'm gonna call it test contest. I have to define a start time and end time. So let me say it's gonna start on 17th of this month and it's supposed to start at 10 o'clock. Right. And then I'm gonna also define what is the end time for that contest. So I'm gonna also said it's gonna finish on the same day, but I wanted to give them 2 hours of time to complete that. So I'm gonna say it should finish on 12. Now there is a requirement restriction field on organization type so that later HackerRank can evaluate whether you are evaluating it for a free purpose or for a engineering educational institute or for your company or something. So I'm gonna say I am defining it for a school and I'm gonna select organization name. Now if at all my organization name is available here, I can select that one. Or if I don't have my organization name listed here, I can also skip for that and enter my own organization name. So luckily for me, my organization name, my school name is available here. And that's all pretty much is the first page. So I click on get started to add the questions now. Right. So now once again, the initial part is same. I'm gonna have a short description about the contest. If at all I have some prizes defined for that, I'm gonna define that. What are the rules and regulations? I'm gonna define that. I'm gonna say what are the scoring methods per test cases, how much marks or score the participants supposed to get. All those initial details I can define it here. I can also choose one background image and define uh, for a better look. If you are really doing it for a contest purpose, you can put the banner or something here that is allowed. Right, now coming to the correct part, I am going to challenges here and I am supposed to add a challenge. Now provided once again reminding a quick reminder here, I should be having this challenge already created. Right. So I click on add challenge and I supposed to enter the name of the challenge which we have already created just to ensure that it's supposed to be little unique. Otherwise you might get so many options here and you might get confused which question is your question. So it's always recommended that you start with either your name or your organization name. Right. So what is the score for that? I am saying 100 is the max score what participants will get if they get all the test cases satisfied. I click on add challenge. So now it has been added. Now there are a couple of advanced settings which we can also see. What is the leaderboard? It will be HackerRank default leaderboard. Tiebreaker, if two students are getting same score, how you're gonna define that? You're gonna take out the time what they are using and then they define it. If at all I wanted to have this forum discussions, once again I can define that all once again here. I can add the moderator once again here. How I wanted to invite all the participants, that I can define it here. I can define how this or rather how many people have signed up for this. This is after taking the test, so I'll be coming back to this little later. So as the contest is already been saved, what I can do is I can copy this URL and I can go to a new tab, or I can see preview it basically, or rather I can simply click on that option and I can see how the HackerRank course is actually happening. Now it says initially I have to sign up and then it will go further. So this is the same page or a screen will be displayed for all the participants. So I click on sign up. So now it's saying you are in. Now I have to supposed to wait for a few couple of hours as long as this is not live or active, right? I can also click on practice now. The participants rather click on practice now and test how the thing supposed to happen, and they can practice by that time. Now let me go ahead and change few couple of things here so that I can get to see what are the sign up and statistical information I get. So I go to the challenge page, preview challenge page, and I get to see how many questions are being displayed here, what are my scores, and this is the same thing once again will be displayed for all the participants. Now I click on solve challenge and I get to see there is a sample output given. As you said, that particular challenge is a sample one, and then I can write my code here. So once again, participants can select whatever the options you have given, and assuming that I am selecting Java 8, and then here I supposed to write down what is the code. The instructions are already been given. We have not done anything. The system was sufficient enough to generate all these basic codes and everything, and I'm gonna say a generic output here, and I'm gonna go ahead and say hello world. Now as you can observe here, I'm writing everything in a lower test case sort of a thing, or a sentence case. Let's see what happens. So once again, now the participants will be able to run the code and see before they submit, or if they are very confident, they can submit directly. So I'll click on run code, and once I run the code, I'll be able to see like, yes, none of this, whatever is my answer and whatever is expected answer, and it will say it's a wrong answer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change it quickly, and I'm gonna try to submit it just to see how the reports are getting generated. Now this time I'm running this code. Now as you know, there are two test cases. One is a single space and another one is a double space. So the double space one will definitely be failed here, and we wanted to see how that report comes. So now we're gonna submit this code. So it's a quick review page. Yes, I wanted to submit my code, and once I submit, the participants will be able to see how many test cases are passed and how many test cases are failed. So as this was for 100 score, 50% score is been given. I can distribute that one over n number of test cases. Some test cases can have more weightage, some test cases can have less weightage. So that is possible. So once that has been submitted, we can come back and see in our screen what happened and what is the statistic. So I can see as of now only one participant and have signed up, logged in, yes. And then if I go to statistics, I'll be able to see how many people have signed up, how many people have taken the test, how many people have actually signed up for the codes and everything. And then I can see the complete details of the submission. So once I click on view all submissions, I'll be able to see, and this ID gonna be unique for all participants. So if at all I have multiple questions, based on this, I'll be able to figure it out how many participants and which participants has having a unique ID and everything. So those all things can be done. Now this part can be taken out and it can be downloaded for a Excel format or a .csv format to see, so that I can keep multiple filter, I can keep the cutoff, and I can do all other options here. Now if I wanted to see the individual output, just for a matter of sake, I can click on view, and I can see what happens exactly for that particular participant, what he has written, what was the failed test case, which was a success test case. So if I wanted to individually see some of the students' performance, I can always do that. So This tool, in my opinion, it's a very useful tool for programming evaluation for virtual labs on programming aspect. And so this is the quick demonstrations of HackerRank from a teaching perspective, for a teacher perspective. Hope this will be helping you in creating your own courses, your own programming courses, your own programming virtual labs. And so thank you very much once again for signing in. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel, Free Faculty. Thank you.